Aisha had just started her first night, shift as a nurse in an old government hospital. The building was quiet, and the dim lights flickered in the long empty corridors. Everyone in the hospital talked about Ward 13, a section that had been closed for more than 10 years. Doctors said it was abandoned, after a strange incident where several patients died mysteriously in one night. At exactly 3:03 a.m., Aisha noticed something strange. The lights inside Ward 13 were on. She asked the security guard about it, but he looked terrified. That ward has been locked for years. Nobody goes there. But the light was still glowing under the door. The next night, curiosity pulled her toward the ward. Her hands trembled as she slowly opened the rusty door. Inside, everything looked frozen in time. Dust covered the beds and machines. On one bed, a patient file lay open. Aisha picked it up. Her heart stopped. The name written on it was Aisha Khan. Suddenly, the ECG machine beside the bed started working by itself. Beep, beep, beep. A weak voice whispered from the darkness, "Please, don't let me die." When Aisha turned around, she saw a patient standing behind her. The patient had her face, and then the lights went out. In a private hospital in Lahore, room 217 was always locked. Officially, it was just a storage room, but nurses knew the truth. Every night, a woman's crying voice could be heard from inside. Dr. Hamza, a young and confident doctor, believed it was just a rumor. One night he decided to investigate. At midnight, he unlocked room 217. The room looked empty, but on the wall, written in what looked like blood, were the words, "They left me here." Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind him. The hospital lights went out. In the middle of the room, a stretcher slowly moved by itself. On it lay a woman covered with a white cloth. Hamza slowly pulled the cloth away. His hands began to shake. It was his wife. She had died in this hospital 3 years ago. Her eyes suddenly opened, and she whispered, "Why did you leave me here?" Dr. Ali was the only doctor on duty in a small-town hospital during a cold night. At 2 a.m., an ambulance suddenly arrived. Inside, it was an old man barely breathing. Strangely, there was no driver in the ambulance. Dr. Ali rushed the man into the emergency ward. When he checked the patient file, he froze. The admission date was October 12, 1986, and under status it said, "Dead." Dr. Ali slowly turned toward the bed. The old man was now sitting up. He looked directly at the doctor. "I've been waiting for a doctor for 40 years. He reached out his hand. As soon as Dr. Ali touched it, the hospital lights went out. The next morning, the staff found Dr. Ali dead in the ward. A new file had appeared in the hospital records. It read, "Patient name, Dr. Ali." Dr. Faraz was one of the best surgeons in Karachi. One night, he received a strange patient. The man had a heartbeat but no brain activity. The surgery began. The operating room was silent except for the machines. As soon as Dr. Faraz opened the patient's chest, the patient's eyes opened. Everyone froze. Dr. Faraz tried to stay calm, thinking it was just a nerve reaction. But the patient slowly turned his head toward him and spoke, "Doctor, you killed me. Remember?" Suddenly, the lights started flickering. All the machines shut down. Later, when the CCTV footage was reviewed, it showed the patient slowly sitting up on the operating table. He leaned close to Dr. Faraz and whispered something. Seconds later, Dr. Faraz collapsed. The patient disappeared. Beneath an old hospital was a secret basement ward. Only the strangest patients were kept there. One night, a medical student named Zan was sent to check the old records stored downstairs. The basement was dark and silent. As he walked deeper, he heard whispers, "Let us out." The doors of the rooms were locked, but voices were coming from inside. Zan opened one door. The room was empty, but the walls were covered in handprints. Suddenly, he heard footsteps behind him. When he turned around, dozens of missing hospital patients were standing there. Their eyes were completely black. They spoke together in one terrifying voice. "The doctors left us here." The lights went out. When the staff checked the basement the next morning, a new patient file was lying on the table. It said, patient name, Zarin,